Movement for Credible Elections, MCE, has condemned the complicity of the federal government and the police authorities in allowing local government councils in Osun State to be subjected to illegal occupation by impostors in spite of the express ruling of court of competent jurisdiction. The National Secretariat of the newly launched movement, rising from an emergency meeting on Friday, recalled that the Federal High Court sitting in Osogbo had already nullified the tenure of the erstwhile chairman and councillors sponsored by the All Progressives Congress, APC, in November 2022, a decision that was subsequently upheld by the Court of Appeal on February 10, 2025, and reaffirmed on June 13, 2025, on the grounds that the elections were conducted in clear violation of the requirements of the law. MCE unequivocally condemned the continued diversion and withholding of statutory allocations due to the local government of Osun State, describing such actions as unlawful, immoral, and a dangerous abuse of the Nigerian Constitution aimed at frustrating and coercing the Osun State government duly elected on a party platform different from the party ruling at the federal level. MCE also queried the mandate under which the APC chairman and councillors are currently running Osun local government, since they have already admitted that their so-called tenure has expired and approached the court for tenure elongation, a case which is yet to be heard by the court. The movement reaffirmed its commitment to defending democracy and constitutionalism through popular advocacy for credible elections and called on the civil society, labor, youth, professional bodies, and all lovers of democracy to be on the alert to storm Osun State in February to intervene in what is perceived as grave injustice against the suffering masses of Osun. And now on the local scene, the chairman of Ede South Local Government area of Osun State and secretary of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria, Argon, in the state, Honorable Lukman. For the breaking transmission. Moving ahead on the local scene, the chairman of Ede South Local Government area of Osun State and secretary of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria, Argon, in the state, Honorable Lukman Afolabi, has insisted that he remains the duly elected and authentic executive chairman of the council. Afolabi made the assertion on Thursday while featuring on a current affairs radio program in the southwest. The council boards accused the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy and former governor of Osun State, Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, for allegedly working to destabilize governance in the state. He criticized what he described as Oyetola's continued interference in the state affairs, stressing that the former governor's 4-year tenure had ended and that Osun resident has since moved on. According to Folabi, any former governor who fails to respect the end of his mandate and continues to interfere in another administration's affairs poses a threat to peace and democratic stability. Reaffirming his position as the legitimate chairman of the South local government, Afolabi dismissed rival claims to the office as illegal, fake, and politically motivated, describing the situation as an unprecedented and desperate plot in the history of governance in Osun State. He challenged the individual he referred to as the self-acclaimed yes and no chairman to come out openly and present himself before traditional rulers, chiefs, Muslims and Christian leaders in the South to publicly declare himself as an executive chairman if he truly has the legitimacy he claims. The development comes amid rising political tension in the state. On Wednesday, Osun State Governor Demola Adeleke reported Oyetola to President Bola Tinubu, urging him to caution the minister over alleged actions culpable of fueling crisis at the local government area. And now on the sports scene, the 38-year-old Serbian great 10 back the clock to keep alive his bid for a record 25 Grand Slam crown by upsetting Italian 3-6, 6-3, 4-6, 3-4 in a grueling 4 hours 9 minutes on road lever. World number 1 Alcaraz needed even longer to Thames race, spending a titanic 5 hours 27 minutes on court, overcoming cramping and a fifth set deficit to win 64. And now on the foreign scene, the United Nations is at risk of imminent financial collapse due to a member state not paying their fees, the body's head has warned. Antonio Guterres said the UN faced a financial crisis which was deepening, threatening program delivery, and that money could run out by July. He wrote in a letter to all 193 member states that they had to honor their mandatory payment or overhaul the organization's financial rules to avoid collapse. It comes after the UN's largest contributor, the US, refused to contribute to its irregular and peacekeeping budget and withdrew from several agencies it called a waste of taxpayer dollars. Several other members are in arrears or are simply refusing to pay. Though the UN General Assembly did approve a partial change to its financial system in late 2025, the organization still faces a massive cash crisis compounded by a rule that means it is refunding money it's never received. At its headquarters in Geneva, signs warning of the situation have been put up everywhere. In almost a desperate attempt to save cash, the escalators are regularly turned off and the heating turned down. Guterres wrote in his letter that the UN had faced financial crisis in the past, but the current situation was categorically different.
Slow Music Studio.
And now to end the news, here is a recap of our stories. We told you that the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, has issued a 4-week ultimatum to the federal government to fully implement outstanding agreements on salaries, allowances, and welfare. We also told you that the Movement for Credible Elections has condemned the complicity of the federal government and the police authorities in allowing local government councils in Osun State to be subjected to illegal occupation by impostors. The chairman of Ede South Local Government Area of Osun State and secretary of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, in Osun State, Honorable Lukman Afolabi, has insisted that he remains the duly elected and authentic executive chairman of the council. Novak Djokovic stunned reigning champion Jannik Sinner early Saturday to set up a blockbuster Australian Open final with Carlos Alcaraz after the Spaniard survived the 5-set clash of his own with Alexander Zverev. Lastly, we told you that the United Nations is at risk of imminent financial collapse due to member states not paying their fees. The body's head has warned.
Music Studio.
That ends the news on STM Radio Vision, Elisha, Osun State, Nigeria. The news was edited by Owayo Ajiboye and was brought to you by Chidinma Abel. Thanks for listening. Good morning.